I'm sitting here thinking and watching my videos and whatnot else because I can't sleep. And I'm thinking, white America is more than happy to teach about the War of Independence, but they won't teach about the struggles of Native Americans and the cruelty of white men against Native Americans. They're more than happy to talk about the atrocities of the Civil War, but they won't talk about the atrocities of slavery and genocide they committed against the natives here and against the slaves they brought here. Trump wants to delete the history of Native Americans and black people and Asians and Latinos in this land. But they're more than happy to talk about World War I and World War II. But the other thing is about these wars, they want to erase the contributions black people had in these wars. It's perfectly all right and acceptable to talk about every war a white man has been in, about every atrocity that has been committed against white people. But the instant you talk about the atrocities and wars against brown-skinned people and black-skinned people here in America, and let's get it straight, slavery was a war against black people. What the colonizers did to the Native Americans was a war against Native Americans. Let's not sugarcoat it anymore. You're more than willing to talk about any war that a white man was in, but you want to erase the wars that colored skinned people were in, brown and black people were in, whether they're Asian or they're black or they're Native American or they're Latino here in this country. You want to erase it because let's forget about the negativity. I am so sick and tired of history, of my ancestors being erased. My ancestors. My Native American ancestors. And yes, my African slave ancestors. They may have been way further back than my Native American ancestors. But they're still in my blood. It may only be 1%, but it's part of my blood. And you won't teach my history, but you will decree and decry and whine and holler about the Vietnam War and the white people, about World War II and the white people, World War I and the white people, Civil War and the white people, Independence War and the white people. But you won't talk about Juneteenth. You won't talk about the contributions of the brown and black-skinned people in these wars. You won't even talk about how many Muslim peoples in past world wars had helped the American troops. Because they're not white people. They're not European. Get it, people? We all started from one place. We did not start on a planet that was divided by borders. It was one world, one people, one survival. And it didn't matter where you went. You had to help each other to survive. And then mankind got all uppity and started thinking, oh, my skin's better than your skin. Let's kill them guys. My rights are better than your rights. Let's go take their rights away. And other nations have done it. Yeah, other races have done it. But the worst of them all, the most horrific of them all, is white man. Because not only did they do it, but they found a way to profit off of it. And they're still doing it today. And until we get back to where we can stand up and say this is one world, and the only race there is the human race, and it doesn't matter what color your skin is, your history matters. Nothing will ever change in this world. If we can start to love each other for the humans we are and start learning from the past of the humans we were, we just might make a better world. But we're too busy talking about how our skin colors are better than somebody else's. How our blood is supposedly more pure than somebody else's. You're not any better than any other person in this world. Not just in this nation, in this world. Your skin color isn't better. How much money you make doesn't make a damn ass difference in the end. When you're buried in that ground, you're gonna rot just the same way as I am. The only way you're not is if you put enough artificial preservatives in yourself that nature doesn't matter. And you know, you rich people who don't think this global warming is going to touch you because you're rich enough to stay out of it long enough, nature catches up to everybody at some point in time. And you may be rich today. You may be powerful today. And you may think your family's going to be rich and powerful for the next 1,000 generations. But remember, you could lose it much easier than what you gained it by exploiting others. In just a day, you could lose it. So you need to stop looking down your nose at everybody else. You need to stop thinking your skin makes you something important. Because it doesn't. What makes you important is what you got up here and what you got in here. If all you got is only what's up in here and you don't have what's in here, you're going to go wrong. You're going to go far wrong. And I'm going to say something to the people who only got it here. I'm sorry. But those that only got it here and think they're better off than everybody else because of their skin color or because of how much money they have or whatever, they're going to take advantage of you. So you need to start getting it up here too. You need a good, healthy dose of this, but you need a strong understanding of this. Because if you don't have it, those who mean harm are going to do harm. I've lived it. I know it. And many of us have lived it. But your skin color doesn't make you better than anybody else. My skin color comes from a mix of all of them. A mix of every freaking race out there. Take me to the European, my ancestors are probably spread all over there. Take me to Africa, my ancestors are spread all over there. Take me to the Middle East, my ancestors are spread there. Take me to Asia, my ancestors are spread there. Indonesia. South and North America. Russia. My ancestors come from everywhere. So maybe I'm better than you white people. Because I'm all of that and more. Get your head out of your backstop. Stop thinking your skin is what makes you better than somebody else. And start remembering that repeating a history doesn't make things bad and doesn't make you responsible for that history. It only makes you responsible for that history if you keep repeating it. If you learn from it, move on, and become a better person, then that makes you the smart one. Because you are no better than anybody else. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care about any of that. None of that makes you better than anybody else. The only thing that makes you better than anybody else is your ability to learn from history and to be better than what your ancestors' worst sides were. And to remember that you have a heart and you need to use it. And be better than what the worst of your ancestors were. In fact, be better than the mediocrity of your ancestors were. Be better than the best of your ancestors. Because your best of your ancestors lived what they knew then, which was far less than what generations of today can know. And if you choose ignorance and coldness over truth and warmth, then that is your doing. And we should have no sympathy on you. And as far as these ICE members go, I don't care if you're white, brown, or black. If you're out there pulling this crap out there of intimidating people, you are no better than the worst of your ancestors. And you are worse than anybody else in this nation. You are the lowest of the human race. You are the ones who should be shunned. You are the ones that your history should be erased. Not the normal people like us. You. Because your bigotry has made you black and ugly. And I'm not talking black skin. I'm talking black soul. You Christians out there going for this, your soul is just as black. Because God didn't preach hate, He preached love. And He crossed many borders. But if He came to America today, you white people would kick Him out. Because He wasn't white. You take a look at the history of the region He came from, the people were not white. They were more the color of the people that you are rounding up here in America and having no heart for. You don't care if they're murdered. You don't care if they're citizens. You don't care if they've committed a crime or not. The only thing you care is their skin is different than yours, or they came from somewhere else than you did, or they have a language you don't have. And as long as that's a fact, you want them out of this nation. And for you white people, you want them out of your white man's nation. Excuse me, fuck off. This nation was brown from the start. It has never been the white man's land. It has always been brown man's land. And the first natives who discovered this land and became the natives of this land, they came from all over. They came from Africa. They came from Asia. They came from the Middle East. They came from Russia. They came from all over. And maybe that's why when you white people first landed on this land, they were accepting of you. Until you started murdering them. There was no Thanksgiving. There was a slaughter. And if that's all you white people want to be known for, keep your shit up. You will be known throughout history as nothing but the death dealers that you are. You can either today decide to be better, or you can keep following down the same track. And don't think you can erase history. Because the people remember. And the more you do it, the more they remember. And it will never die. As long as you keep on doing it, we don't have a reason to forget. So maybe you need to change. And I'll pray for that change. I will pray that someday you will wake up and realize that as long as you don't change your ways, it doesn't matter how much history you try to erase, we will always remember. We will always know. And we will always teach it to the next generation. You are not the gods of this world. You are nothing more than another human being. You just have a crueler skin than most.